see this next comic's riding on hard times, I want you to give a very warm welcome to Mark Hassenfratz. Come on.
Thanks for coming out, everybody. This is awesome. So, they say that you should dress for the job that you want, not the job that you have. So, apparently, I want to be the guy selling t-shirts at a rock concert. I love punk rock. Punk rock is my favorite kind of music. What I love most about punk rock is that all of my favorite bands, Minor Threat, Black Flag, The Clash, they all taught me that the most important thing is to think for yourself and reject authority. Which is a great lesson, I think. But I feel like it's also setting me up to be a terrible father one day. Just be like, son, you disobeyed my direct order. High five. Tell you what, nice job. Here, have a beer. I think that the silver lining to a Trump presidency is that it's a really good time to be a punk right now. Because it's hard to be punk when things are going your way, you know? You can't just be like, fuck this system that gave me affordable health care. Punk does get me in trouble though. You know, I'll be speeding, cop pulls me over, I'll be like, sorry officer, I'm an anarchist. I don't think that speed limits are a valid social construct, I'm sorry. Not only did that argument not work on the judge, I was fined in contempt of court for my World Trade is a Death Machine t-shirt. Apparently that's not appropriate. On the whole though, I think that punk has had a really positive effect on my life, like physically too. Because I cut all the sleeves off my t-shirts, so now I have to work out. I've made a commitment to that look, you know? Most of my friends in college, they weren't super into punk, which was fine, and I supported them. They all sang in church choirs, so I'd go to the church wearing my Sunday best to see them sing, you know, ripped up jeans, tattered shirt and jacket, and as soon as I walked in, all the people from the church would give me canned food and anoint the sores on my feet. It was really cool. Nice place. But it was really awkward though, because I showed up late, and I don't know if you guys know this, but it is really hard to sneak in somewhere while wearing combat boots. It just kind of doesn't work. You can't be like... So I get to the show and it was awesome, I loved it. It was really eye-opening to me as a punk, because normally all my shows are in like dimly lit basements that are definitely in violation of a fire code. So I get to the show and it's amazing, it's blowing my mind. I'm like, whoa, what's that beautiful music? Oh, that's a harmony? Wow, that's new. Wait, are you telling me that there's more than 3 chords? What? That's bananas. Yo, who's this guy Mozart? I think this kid's going places. I'm really glad I went to the show because I was able to support my friends and I think I inspired people too. Because all the people from the church came up to me afterwards and said that they were praying for me. I'm a pragmatic drinker. I don't really go much in for fancy drinks. I think that the kind of drink you like says a lot about you. If you drink wine, it says, I have sophisticated taste and I'm a refined person. If you drink gin and tonic, you're saying, I'm tough but fair. I'm a PBR drinker, and PBR says, yeah, you guys know why I'm here. I am trying to handle my liquor a little better, because I'm one of those people, whenever I get drunk, I assume that everyone else is as drunk as me, so I'll be like, yes, this is the best night of my life, everyone is having the time of their life. And then people will come in and just kill the mood by saying things like, seriously, Mark, cut it out. You're ruining this baby shower. You ever get blackouts? You never find out good stuff about yourself after a blackout. Just once, I'd love for someone to come up to me the next day and tell me that I agreed to give a kidney to a sick kid. Normally they're like, why were you trying to fight my grandma last night? I think they can be fun though. Blackouts can be fun because it's a very unique opportunity in life. You get to be the detective solving a mystery and also the criminal who committed the crime. I've gathered you all here to discuss the mystery of who threw up in Jen's purse last night. It was me, case closed. I get into a lot of political arguments with my uncle, mostly about gun control. He thinks he needs a gun for home defense. I don't need a gun for home defense, because I'm broke. No one wants to break into my house. I don't have anything worth stealing, really. I actually hope someone tries to break into my house, so that way I can be like, oh, cool, glad to have you with me. Tell you what, let's team up and we'll go rob Bill's house. Bill has nicer stuff than me. He also thinks he needs a gun to protect himself from ISIS. And I was like, really, Uncle John? ISIS? You live in Arkansas. What are they gonna target, a Denny's? He also buys into some conspiracy theory stuff that doesn't make sense to me. He's like, oh yeah, all of these protesters, they're paid off by the Democratic Party. They paid all of these people, and now they protest in cities all over the country. And I was like, really? What makes you think they can pull that off? Democrats couldn't even get Hillary to visit Wisconsin. But people love guns, though. They love them. They love guns for hunting, which they think is a good father-son bonding activity. Which is strange to me, because my dad and I bonded all the time without killing stuff. And the things that we did when we bonded, it didn't make me any less of a man. It didn't make me any less masculine. We would go to the movies, we would play catch, we would braid each other's hair. I reaffirm my masculinity in other ways, by using women's shampoo. You may want to make fun of me, but you know what? You're the one with dry roots, so... And here's the way I think about it. I work hard, I pay bills, so I will smell like a goddamn pomegranate if that's what I choose to smell like. My dad actually died when I was 11, which is a great way to start a joke at a Friday night show. People always said really dumb things to me when they found out my dad died. They'd be like, oh, I'm so sorry that your dad died, I'm so sorry. And I'd be like, what are you apologizing to me for? Unless you were the one driving the turnip truck that fateful day. He wasn't actually hit by a turnip truck, I want to It did give me a really good perspective, though. I think it put things in perspective for me. I would fail a test at school in math, and I would come home, my mom would ask me how it went, and I would be like, well, at least I'm still alive. Yeah. I was that bad in math, yeah. That was the net positive for that. Yeah, he was a good guy, my dad. People get really uncomfortable when I talk about my dad dying. They're normally like, oh, great, interesting. You know what also would be interesting? Talking about literally anything else. That would be really cool. So I use that to my advantage sometimes. Like if I'm ever at a party and I just need some space away from people, I'll just start talking about my dad. Be like, hey, this party's really fun. Just like my childhood was before my dad died. Does anybody need a beer? Oh, you know who loved beer? My dad. He's dead. He died when I was 11. A child. Works every time, without fail. The most annoying thing, though, is that people would always treat me with kid gloves, Like, I couldn't take a joke because my dad died. They would be like, hey, Mark, yo mama is so commendable for raising you on her own and finishing her master's at the same time. My mom's actually here tonight, which is really great. Yeah, she's, remember when you thought I was going to be a lawyer? This is great. Yeah. I have low self-esteem. I think the biggest sign that I have low self-esteem is that I own Crocs. And, no matter what I do, I always find a way to put myself down. So I got into my dream school, U Chicago, and even when I was going up to go get my diploma, I still thought that the only reason I was there was because someone in the admissions department screwed up. So I was fully prepared for a situation where they'd be like, and Mark Hassenfratz? Ooh, sorry, we meant the other Mark Hassenfratz. And I was ready to be like, yeah, that's fine, that's totally cool. I'll just go live in a ditch now, so that's fine by me. And it gets so bad, I get so caught up in my own head, that even when I'm trying to cheer myself up, I'll still be negative. I'll be like, come on, Mark, get it together. You're not a human trash can't, you're a human trash can. Thank you, everybody. Good night. Keep it going for Mark.